Good morning, Anatova. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the correlation and convolution systems, and we also discussed the analogy to signals and vectors. Now, I would like to continue the talk for today's topic from the same analogy between signals and vectors. And this is Amana Sharma, faculty from EC department, PBR Bits. Okay. Coming to analogy between signals and vectors, as we discussed in the previous sessions, vectors and signals are very closely and because both are having both magnitude as well as direction. So, a signal and a vector seems to be taken in the same way. So, to get the analogy between them, so I would like to start with by taking small concept. Okay, consider two vectors, vector v1 and vector v2. Both are directed like this. They are started from the same origin. So, if anyone willing to approximate a vector v1 along v2, or in other way, to find the similarities of vector v1 along v2, so there are many ways to estimate. So, this is one of the way, this is another way, and this is another way. So, there are three possible ways. One is towards the origin, another is away from the origin, and finally third one is vertically projected towards the second vector. Among three, the best approximation is the green line which is shown here. Why it is best approximation? Because this approximation will minimizes the error between the approximations. Okay. So, hence this is the best way to estimate, because in these three ways, that is, vector v1 can be analyzed by adding this part and this part, as well as from this to this, that is c2v2 plus this part, and finally this part. So, I would like to take this is the best approximation among all three. Hence, so there are three cases. One case is like this, another case is like this, and third one is, so the third case is the best approximation. So, in this case, we are giving the notations v1 is equal to c1 to v2 plus ve. Ve is the error vector which is projected vertically from the top of the v1 to v2, and the magnitude along this one is cv1 c1 to v2. So, from this figure, third figure, we can write this v1 is equal to c1 to v2 plus ve. Let this be equation number 1. If c1 to is 0, then both are, that is v1 and v2 are orthogonal to each other. If c1 to equal to 0, that is c1 to will be placed here. So, v1 and v2 are to be orthogonal to each other. That is called orthogonal set. So, let us consider the product. Because why I given this one is the c12 error must be minimum. Error must be minimum if c12 is minimum. If c12 is 0, then it becomes orthogonal. So, it should not be 0. It has to approximate v1 along. What c12 exactly gives? C12 will give the properties of v1 along v2. The properties of v1 along v2. The similarities of v1 along v2. Exactly. Okay. So, v1 v2 is equal to v1 v2 cos theta, where theta is the angle, and v1 dot v2 is equal to v2 dot that, because as we know that the product is having this property. So, from the graph, it is equal to v1 cos theta equal to v1 v2 cos theta equal to v1 dot v2 by v2. From the diagram, v2 is equal to c1 to v2. So, these two are equal. c1 to v2 is equal to v1 v2 by v2, or c1 to is equal to v1 dot v2 by v2 square. So, this c12 will give minimum value or minimum error in the approximation, and c12 is known as the similarities of v1 along v2. This is how you can approximate any vector v1 along v2 direction. c12 becomes 0, because if c12 equal to 0, that means this product equal to 0, then v1 dot v2 equal to 0. v1 dot v2 is v1 v2 cos theta. So cos theta equal to 0, theta equal to 90 degrees. So they are orthogonal to each other because theta is the angle between the v1 and v2. Now I am applying the same concept to the signals. A signal of orthogonality. Let us consider two functions or two signals f12 and f1 and f2. So to find the similarities between like we approximated in the vectors, in the similar way, f of f1 of t equal to c1 to f2 of t plus fe of t in the given, because it is of signal, so we have to define in a interval where fe is the error signal or error function. So coming to signal, there is small change between the signals and vectors. So in signals we have to take the mean square error value to the approximate value. So fe is equal to f1 of t minus c1 to v2. One possible way is to minimize the error is by taking by integrating over t1 and t2. So you can take the mean square value 1 by t2 minus t1 integral f1 t1 to t2 fe of t dt. What is fe of t? f1 of t minus c1 to f2 of t. So substituting this equation becomes it. But this estimation will not reduce error completely. Why? Because so while approximating, suppose we are having a signal like this. If we got error function like this, so one pause. So this is positive amplitude and this is negative amplitude. If we got the error function fe of t like this, if you integrate this function, this is positive area and this is negative area, right? So positive area, suppose plus a. If this is, because it is the exact sign, it is plus a and this is minus a. Integration means we have to add. If you add these two, plus a minus a becomes, they will get cancelled and it results 0. Is it really 0? No, there is a signal. So the error function maybe leads to 0 if you directly take the average value. So this concept may sometimes will not give exact error. So we have to take another example, we have to take another one. So that's why we are taking the mean square error. In mean square error, so you can think the same way. In mean square error, what happens? Suppose if we got a function like this, if we got a function with a positive and negative, plus a minus a, like I'm taking the same analysis what I given right in the last slide. So if we take mean square, we are squaring. So a becomes a square, minus a becomes plus a square. Now if you add, if you integrate, now change. So if you integrate, it is 2a square. So the error becomes a defined function. So that's why we have to take the mean square error function rather than mean value. So this is one of the reasons why we are going for the mean square error. So the formula for mean square error, epsilon is equal to error is equal to 1 by t2 minus t1 integral t1 to t2 fe of t whole square dt. And moreover that mean square error, directly we are taking the power estimation. So that is another advantage. So we are taking how much power, how much error function is given. So that is, so power and voltage, no problem, they are related directly. So that's it may give a good approximation. So this mean square error, substituting fe of t, that is f1 of t into f2 fc1 to f2 of t whole square. So to get the exact value of c12, we have to differentiate, and to find maximum minimum values, what we have from mathematics background, we can say that we have to define this. To find the minimum values, we have to differentiate with respect to the parameter for what we are trying to estimate the value, that is c12, and then equate it to 0 will give the minimum value where the error becomes minimum. So that is the C12 substituting this function, this relation becomes C12 is equal to integral T1 to T2 f1 of t dot f2 of t divided by f2 square of t. Remember, in the vectors v1 dot v2 by v2 square. Here also integral t1 to t2, numerator dot product f1 and f2 integrating over integral, and denominator square, mean square as a function. So like that you will get the C12. Similarly, in vectors, if C12 equal to 0, v1 and v2 are orthogonal to each other. In a similar way, if C12 equal to 0, the function f1 and f2 are said to be orthogonal function, and if C12 equal to 0, they forms an orthogonal set. What happens if a function is orthogonal set? If any function is a orthogonal set, by using that functions you can represent any value, any signal. Like in your mathematics, in your if you remember the graph sheet, what we are having, x-axis, y-axis. This is what you usually represent, right? This is x-axis and this is y-axis. How they are? They are orthogonal to each other. They are having 90 degrees apart. So they are orthogonal. So by using this graph, we can represent any point by taking, suppose x equal to 1, y equal to 2. You will put a line like this, and this is the projected vector, what you say. Okay, like that you can represent. So if any two functions are orthogonal to each other, by using those two functions you can represent any type of function, any type of new function. That is the advantage of orthogonal functions, orthogonal system. XY is a Cartesian system, is an orthogonal system. Spherical system is an orthogonal system. Cylindrical system is an orthogonal system. Like that, there are orthogonal systems. By using those orthogonal systems, you can represent any function. Similarly, if the functions are orthogonal or signals are orthogonal set, by using those two orthogonal set, you can represent any type of new functions. So this is the condition of getting orthogonality checked. So if in your examination, if anybody asks you, derive the orthogonality condition or whether these two signals are orthogonal to each other or not, then you have to take those two signals, multiply them, integrate over t1 to t given interval. If it equal to 0, then those two are orthogonal functions. If they are not equal, they are not orthogonal function. So this is the condition for orthogonality. Similarly, orthogonal vector space. In the example, we have taken only two vectors. If they are having n number of vectors, then it is called orthogonal vector space. Example, here I am taking xyz plane, three-dimensional orthogonal space, where we are having three vectors and both are and they are orthogonal to each other. So this is called orthogonal set. If they are having n number of vectors which are orthogonal to each other or one another, that is called orthogonal signal space. By using orthogonal signal space, we can represent any vector. So the condition for orthogonality is v1 dot v bar equal to 1 when a equal to b, va dot vb equal to 0 when a is not equal to b. Suppose if you taking this c12 is equal to v1 dot v2 by v2 square, v1 va dot vb by vb square, like that we have to. That is called orthogonal vector space. The same concept can be applied to the orthogonal signal space. If there are more than one functions are there and if they are orthogonal to each other, then they are said to be orthogonal vector signal space. By using orthogonal signal space, we can approximate any type of function. That is, best example is Fourier series, Legendre part. All these are orthogonal space. So the condition for orthogonal space is xi of t, xk of t equal to 0 for j is not equal to k, k square, that is if j equal to k, it has to be equal to 1 or some constant. That is the orthogonality condition. Then these functions can be used to approximate any function. Then we can approximate the function like this. In the next class, we will see some more detail about this orthogonal space and applications of orthogonal space. Thank you.